Inside Stuff with Martins Oloja today is on Mr. President, when silence is not golden. I mean, this time, silence is not golden. People always say silence is golden. But this is a time when I think silence is not golden. We'll just take off from the word of our elders, some ancient words, that there is a time for everything. In some of these series, you hear that a time to be born and a time to die, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. And one good one there too is a time to keep silent and a time to speak. I think it is time our president spoke. It is time for him to speak to Nigerians. At this time, it is time for him to understand the times we are in. It's a crisis time. It's an emergency when citizens look up to their leaders for words of hope and sense of direction. Yeah, some people will say, after all, the experts have been talking. Yes, experts have their own space and leaders have their own space in an emergency like this, a national emergency. When citizens are afraid of what will happen, they are afraid of tomorrow. So we want our leaders to talk to us, and it is a contract. We have elected them to lead us, and they should lead us at this time, and that is what world leaders are doing at this time. The presidents in the first world are doing that. Even the Prime Minister of Canada is in the UK. Even his wife has actually contracted this coronavirus. And even from the United Kingdom, he's been talking to his own people, inspiring them, getting them not to get worried about even house rent, about not being able to get this and that the state will support them. This is what we want our leaders to do at this time. We acknowledge the efforts. Oh, they've reduced PMS pump price from 145 to 125 naira, but nobody has seen the evidence anyway. There is a stimulus package of 1 trillion naira from CBN. We haven't seen this, but this is an emergency. We want our leaders to talk to us at this time. The fact that the senior special assistant to the president, Malam Garba Shehu, had to reply the Senate, which urged the president to speak to Nigeria, is in bad taste. That gesture is in bad taste. The senior special assistant to the president speaking on behalf of the presidency, as blasting the Senate for even getting a resolution asking the president to speak to Nigeria, is in bad taste. This is not a time to reply, a time to blame, it's a time to listen. But then it is curious that if the president of Nigeria cannot respect an institution like the Senate, the president of that Senate is number 3 citizen in Nigeria. The Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is an institution that should not be denigrated that way. But in an emergency like this, if they could meet and got a resolution that they should get the president to talk to the nation, it should not be discarded. So that is in bad taste. The other day, the president had to depend on photographs from the governor of Lagos State when there was this very serious gas explosion at Abule Ado. Many citizens expected the president to be there, but he wasn't there. It was unfortunate that he wasn't there. We had to depend on photographs from Lagos State. This was not expected. So at this time, the president should borrow a leaf from what happened in Oyo State, where the governor of Oyo State had to apologize for hosting a party conference at this time to receive some defectors from APC to PDP. He apologized yesterday, saying that his judgment was poor. This is what we think leaders should do. At the right time, they should apologize to the citizens. This is my view on this coronavirus crisis and leadership. What is your own view? drop your comments at the comments section. This is Inside Stuff with Martins Oloja, the Guardian Nigerian.